What's up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm Mise, and I've realized that we've kind of been going through many different eras when it comes to anime. There's so many that we can talk about, both artistic-wise, both genre-wise, style-wise, the era of Isekai, the era of fucking pencil neck anime, and all that stuff. And it seems like we're currently entering or getting really into a new era, and that's the era of live anime adaptations. They're not very good. Yeah, sadly to say the truth, most anime adaptations, at least on the Western side of things, aren't particularly good. They've had a bad track record of being very bad. Just bad. Just so bad. They're so bad. Whether it's the source material that they mess up, or the actual execution of the movie, or sometimes in many situations both, they haven't been very good. But I thought it'd be more interesting to talk about what could make a live anime adaptation good, rather than just go ahead and list a bunch of them and patch them and say that this is bad. Because like any era that we want to get into in anime, we have to be optimistic. So I'm going to try to be the optimistic one, and I'm going to at least use this video as a message to hopefully future directors to tell them, hey, this is what you need to do in order to make a good anime live adaptation. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Now, one of the first things that I feel like I need to establish that should seem obvious at first, but a lot of people just don't do this, is you gotta stay true to the source material. Almost any live adaptation needs to stay true and faithful to the source material. No, I'm not saying go ahead and make the exact same movie. You could take certain liberties with it. Maybe you want to change something here, maybe you want to change something there. But as long as the core aspect of what made that anime good is still there at the end, then that's all really what matters. Now, there are some movies that obviously do more than others, which why they fail. Like, this abomination right here, this whole abomination, this right here, yeah, no, this is bad. This is horrible. I can make a whole video on me ranting about this, but I don't, because I'm being optimistic. I'm being optimistic, and I'm not making a whole video on this trash. I'm making a video on what makes a live anime adaptation good. And this is a prime example of what not to do. More than not, I think anime fans just want to see the show that they love just be done properly and get the justice that it deserves if it's going to be made into live action. And usually, that's not hard to do. Just don't take too many liberties into making your own thing, because it sucks, but at the end of the day, you're not making your own creation. You are making an adaptation of somebody else, and it would be appropriate if you stick to the main point, for the most part. The only way that I could see you can work around that is if you made like a side story in that universe that references the main anime, but yours is in live, like in live action. Then yeah, I can understand that working in many of the sense, but for the most part, all we want is for you to just stay faithful to what made that anime good and stay true to the core aspects of it. That's at the end of the day, that is literally all we want. That is all we want, and it's not hard to do. The second thing that can make a live adaptation good is getting directors and actors and producers who specialize in doing things like this, revolving around the fantasy aspect and the overtopness of anime, and being able to bring out the best in it, or bring in people who are genuinely passionate about the project. Obviously, if someone is passionate, there is still the skepticism of having them, maybe they're new, maybe like they're not as experienced, and that's a totally fair criticism. They might not be experienced, and it could still turn out bad, but it's the fact of there's at least someone who cares. And at the end of the day, that's all we really want. We only want someone who cares about wanting to put this on the big screen as much as we as anime fans want to see it on the big screen. Because at the end of the day, that makes both of us happy. They get to see a creation that they helped bring, and we get to see something we loved made in a new medium. And it's honestly beautiful. I don't want someone who's in it for just the money or someone who's in it just because it'll get them notoriety. No, I want someone who is passionate about the product, who is passionate about wanting to really bring the best out of this adaptation. Now, the third thing that I think we should touch on that I didn't really think about, but after having a conversation with some of my friends, it actually makes sense. We need to start small. Directors, producers, you need to start small. What I mean by this is there's a lot of anime out there. Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, Fairy Tail, Dragon Ball, One Punch Man, My Hero Academia that could be made into live adaptations. And the problem with making those into live adaptations is that they rely heavily on the visual aspects of their animes. So when you try to transfer something that relies on the visual fighting magical aspect to the big screen, usually it doesn't turn out that well because, well, if you've seen any of the shows I've just listed, that's kind of hard to do when you're trying to make it real. So if we want to go ahead and make good adaptations and at least get a good track for us going, start small. Go for the shoujos. Go for the animes that have zero magic in them. Go for the animes that rely heavily on just the character aspects. Go like the oh my god, what's the anime that came out? The quintessential quartets. Do a July and April and a Race, which by the way are already made into live adaptations, and those are apparently really, really good. I'm just saying that starting off big can usually lead to the downfall, and they usually don't turn out very well unless you got the huge budget to make it look real. It's probably not the best idea for you to actually venture out to make it look real. And a lot of people probably argue that no, you shouldn't go ahead and start that. They should do it if they want to. Yeah, but if you mess up on one and another, there's only so much until people start caring. And I think we're already close to that point because there's already many that people just don't care about. There's Ghost in the Shell, there's Death Note like I brought up, there's other just huge trash anime adaptations that have just flopped in the West. So I think that right now they need to go for the animes that are at least easier to do on a scale and probably don't require that much, and honestly might not even require that much budget because you already got the script there, you already got the story, you just need to retell it with the decent actors. Now, there's one more thing that I want to talk about when it comes to live anime adaptations, and I am going to tread very lightly on this topic because I know damn well that a lot of people will get mad if I make this wrong. So let me at least explain and try to best tread on the thing and topic I'm going to talk about next. It is okay for you to use different actors that are not the same race as the characters in the anime. However, you should have a logical reason as to why this was a choice in the first place. I think I did okay. Now, what exactly do I mean by this, honestly, when I say that? Well, basically, it goes back to talking about the whole whitewashing Hollywood. Yes, that exists. Yes, that is a problem. It is a widely huge problem. However, there are some aspects where maybe in certain times the race doesn't matter. Now, again, hold on. Let me. Before you go in the comments and your angry comment on the shit, let me explain myself. There should be a logical and logistical reason to the change. You shouldn't just change it just to change it. And again, it goes back to the whole, wanting the cash money thing. It's best example again is Ghost in the Shell. That probably wasn't a good place to do it, and there's probably a lot of Asian actors that would have gone and done that role, and probably, honest to God, would have probably done it a lot better than Scarlett Johansson. But in some cases, there is an Asian actor who might not be as passionate of the project, and maybe not even that does a pretty decent and good role that's passable. It's just maybe a black or Mexican or a white person who really wants to do it and really is really good at the role. Then I think in that sense, that's okay. Because again, it goes back to the aspect of you want the best for this adaptation. You want the best going into this movie. And you know what? If that means we gotta change a couple of races to get the best actors, that's fine. Now, if you're more of an indie studio, if you're an indie guy, then I think you should also get a pass because you're limited to what you can do. The big boys like Sony and all those guys, they need to try a lot harder, and they better find an actor that is, by God, so beautiful in making the role of that person that they have that reason to switch the race and not look for the actual race of the character. But that's just me. I think that there are reasons and logical ones why a person would make the switch because of maybe money issues or them not getting the right person and all that stuff and other reasons. But at the end of the day, it goes back to staying with the material. You better have a good reason for doing it. You better have a good reason. So that's at least my stance on it. Anyway, I think I've pretty much listed all the things that I can think of that can make a good anime adaptation. I think that this core right here, these 4 cores, will at least help in making a good anime adaptation, or at least build the road into making more good anime adaptations. I think as if we follow these 4 lists, that's fine. I think that's a good start, and then we could just build on it from there as the years go on. Because let's face it, we know damn well that anime adaptations, they're not going anywhere. They're here to stay as long as Hollywood could cash out on them. And there are a lot of anime that they can do live adaptations with. There's too many. And so I think we are entering that era in the West of live anime adaptations. Anime is getting more popular. Hollywood's seeing it as a cash grab. So I have no doubt that we're going to get a lot of bullshit. But at the same time, I at least pray to God that we at least get some good stuff. Because at the end of the day, we need the good stuff, man. We need the good stuff. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And sorry if this was a lot rambly than I usually am. Again, it's the switch of the studios, man, and this and on the mic like this. It's all different, so I'm sorry. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to follow me for more. I now have merch. What does someone like me with 50 subscribers have merch? Well, I do have a big Instagram account, and they wanted merch, so I made merch. I have merch. Link is in the description. It'd be very helpful if you supported me and all the artists to help me make this merch. All the artists are cool. They're amazing. I loved working with them so much. I have more merch coming soon, so, I mean, if you want to go, just buy merch, man. Buy merch, man. I need help. Buy the merch, please. Please buy the merch. Buy the merch. I need to support my family. Anyways, thank you all for watching. And remember, stay hydrated.